Before we cover the elements of effective websites, I first want to speak briefly about some of the options out there for creating your website. Now, I realize you may already have a website of some kind, but I still feel it's worth mentioning these resources because you may find that to have the most effective website possible, you might need to reboot or consider a refresh of your website or even a wholesale change. There are a number of highly rated options for creating or recreating your website. To name just a few: Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, Shopify, and many, many more. I've included a link under the resources section below this video where you can find a complete listing of a number of website creation and hosting options. Of course, part of the reason you may have taken this course is to gain clarity and receive specific recommendations on the best path to take. To that end, I'm confident in recommending Shopify.com for creation and hosting of your personal website. I chose Shopify because of their easy-to-use interface, their extensive selection of templates, the ease of integrating e-commerce into the website to allow for people to purchase work, their powerful website analytics, and a great mobile app. I should emphasize that while I use Shopify for my website, I am not a Shopify affiliate or a partner, and I do not receive any compensation for recommending their platform. Now, as I mentioned, you may already have a website, and if so, that's great. The information I'm about to cover will still enable you to optimize your site for success. And if along the way you find your current website or web platform is lacking, you'll know where to look for a possible refresh. Okay, now let's discover the elements of an effective artist website. First, your website should have a clear and consistent visual branding. As I recently mentioned, you can view your website as a home base for your brand. As it relates to the visual aspects of your brand, you want to ensure that the palette and design elements of your website, the fonts, the graphics, etc., are consistent with your aesthetic as an artist. Another critical factor is that your website design is consistent with your other marketing materials, namely your business cards, your postcards, the cover image of your Facebook business page, and your artist email layout and design. Consistent branding across all these areas conveys credibility and instills confidence. And as you'll hear me say many times throughout this program, anything you can do to increase your perceived credibility and build confidence with potential buyers will lead to selling more art. Next, your website should have an easy-to-use and focused site navigation. Website navigation is as much art as it is science, but in general, your site's navigation should be created based on the behavior you're trying to drive. And as a general rule of thumb, less is more. Keep your navigation to the bare minimum. For artist websites, I recommend this include links for people to view your art, to learn more about you as an artist, to get the latest news and info on upcoming events, and an easy way for them to learn how to contact you. Of course, there are many variations, and depending on how much work you have across different collections or series, you may have what is called nested navigations, where work is further categorized. Another benefit to the Shopify platform is the ability to tag your individual pieces and then group those pieces into collections. Next, your website should be mobile friendly. As you can see from this graphic, the percentage of web traffic associated with mobile devices has skyrocketed over recent years. So much so that having a mobile-friendly website is no longer a nice-to-have, it's a requirement. This is particularly true when we connect the dots to some of the other topics covered in this program, namely the use of social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram to drive traffic to your website. If most of the people accessing those social platforms are on mobile devices, and you're spending money to reach those users through promoted posts on Facebook or Instagram, your website must be mobile friendly or it's a waste of time and, more importantly, a waste of money. It will come as no surprise that another element of an effective website is high quality images of your art. While all other elements we're discussing here are important, one can argue that the most important element of all is how you present your art. The higher the quality of the images on your website, the more credible you will appear and the more likely people will be to get the truest sense of your art. I often suggest not just including a photograph of your art from the front, but also an angled shot. This helps communicate your art as a physical object rather than just a flat thumbnail image on a screen. Still, a further enhancement can be the use of embedded video. These can be added to most web pages by uploading a short video shot on your phone to YouTube and then using the embed option to add the video to the page on your website. In the spirit of selling more art, people should have the ability to purchase your art directly from your website. One of the benefits of selecting a platform like Shopify is how easy it is to enable people to purchase your art on your website with a seamless integrated cart and checkout process. Shopify even has their own native payment gateway, and what that basically means is you don't have to worry about setting up separate credit card processing functionality or relying on PayPal. I still remember the days of hand coding my artist website and pasting PayPal buttons into the site's HTML. So believe me, I have a huge appreciation for how easy it is with today's website solutions to add e-commerce functionality to our websites. One other fun aspect of the Shopify mobile app is that you have the ability to watch people purchase your art on your website in real time. This is an actual screen grab from a recent sale. If you're thinking to yourself at this point that I'm a techie geek, I confess I am guilty as charged. Beyond the images of your art, your bio, resume, and artist statement are your most important pieces of website content as it relates to building credibility, engaging the viewer, and leading people to feel comfortable and confident about collecting your work. If you already have these elements in place, I encourage you to review and see if they can be enhanced. There are a number of stylistic approaches one can take, but most typically a bio is written in the third person and your artist statement is written in the first person. Within your bio, you want to add as many social proof points as possible. Social proof points include any experience, recognition, press, or activities you've been involved with that increase your credibility as an artist. Last but not least, make it easy for people to join your mailing list. If people have demonstrated enough of an interest in your work to visit your website, you want to make it as easy as possible for them to join your mailing list so that 1, you know who they are, and 2, you can communicate with them in the future. Most email marketing platforms have easy ways of generating sign-up forms that can be integrated and placed on any website. The email solution I featured in this program, for example, MailChimp, has an easy-to-use integration with the Shopify platform. Some people like to include an offer of some sort when asking for people's email address. For example, enter to win a fine art print by joining my list. I think offers like this are fine as long as they align with your overall brand and with the type of work you're creating. Remember, in all things, be authentic and true to yourself. And if it doesn't feel right to offer a giveaway to get someone's mailing address, that's fine. Don't do it. The real key is to make sure your website is set up to capture new contacts, because as I cover under the module on effective artist emails, your email communications are the most predictable and effective way of reaching those that have expressed an interest in your work. Next up, I'll share a short story that I hope makes a big point as it relates to the importance of having an effective website.